Greetings once again, mystical mages out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with Fairy Tale The 100 Years Quest, where previously it was Urza against the world, as Luso Signario used the power of world alchemy to send a hazardous onslaught against Urza. We even saw that Luso was able to cancel out her Urza's requip. But Urza's tenacity and durability, at least that's the angle I'm going with, threw Luso off, and it just took a few minor mistakes for Luso to be felled by Urza. Naturally, seeing her sister harmed, this enraged Eni, who changed Luso's dangerous and weird wonderland into a hellscape the likes that Urza had never seen before. And Eni revealed something even more startling. Aside from the power of world alchemy, Eni had the ability of the magical requip as well, summoning a dark hellish armor to fight against Urza's The Night, with the only question remaining being who will survive this battle of swords and sorcery and alchemy. Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Fairy Tale The 100 Years Quest, Chapter 1 to 46. Desire for peace. I wonder whose desire it is. And a nice cover page of Wendy and Charla going for a morning jog. You can tell it's morning because Charla is yawning. And, well, you got an old person walking their dog. Old people are awake at absurdly early times of the day. Early to bed, early to rise. That's how you know you're old and ready for an imminent demise. Moving on. Eni stands before Urza in a demonic-looking armor with an equally demonic-looking sword. Why does the sword have eyeballs on it? Urza, still in her Heaven's Wheel armor, is shocked, saying, "Requip? You have the same magic as me? Wait, you're a wizard?" "You're a wizard, Harry. I'm sorry. The internet has trained me too well." And he tells her, "This is alchemy. I simply alchemized this armor." Then alchemy is no different than magic then. If it could do the exact same thing. Then again, like they said, you don't spend any magic or stamina. You're just reassembling something into something else. So, to a certain degree, superior. And he gets in a battle stance telling Urza, "Remember this, alchemy is more powerful than magic." And he then lunges forward, clashing swords with Urza. And while Urza does somewhat hold her ground, she slid back by the force of the blow. They seem equally matched. Urza strikes at Eni, but she blocks. Eni then manages to kick Urza back, but as Urza maintains her footing, Urza uses requip and summons the black wing armor, and she lunges forward yet again. But once again, Eni manages to parry Urza's blow. They deliver a flurry of strikes, one after the other, clashing time and time again. Urza grits her teeth, saying, "You're quite good with a sword." And he sneers, saying, "You surprised me too, that a devotee of magic would be proficient with a sword." Ooh, and he then takes the opportunity to shove her shoulder into Urza, knocking her back. Ooh, Urza, I guess not paying attention truly to her surroundings, doesn't notice that she's at the edge of the platform that they were standing on. So as she staggers backwards, she can't maintain her footing like she would. As Urza is taken off guard, Eni takes the opportunity and goes in for a massive swing against Urza that knocks her off the platform. Oh man, I need to see this battle animated. This is badass. As Urza is sent flying down the plateau, she flips backwards and shoves her sword into the grotesque, deformed amalgam that was the platform they were standing on. But just as Urza manages to come to a stop, she notices above her Eni is rushing her. Eni tries to strike at Urza, but Urza releases her hold on the platform. Jeez. I don't know if it's just because of this armor, but Eni's got such an intense and incensed look in her eyes. It is pretty badass. And yeah, Urza, that look says she is definitely on the back foot. I mean, it doesn't help that she's already coming off of one fight. But we see Urza and Eni's eyes lock midair as they plummet towards the ground. Eni goes in for another strike, and as their swords clash, Eni manages to knock Urza back just in time for Urza to meet the ground. Jeez. Urza slams into the ground hard, obviously a little winded, and in a similar fashion to Urza's Heavenly Wheel armor, and he summons a myriad of swords, all while falling in mid-air, mind you. Again, so badass! And just as Urza manages to get up from her great fall, and he sends all of the swords right in Urza's direction. Urza manages to get out of the way. Okay, so it wasn't the ground that they hit. Urza hit one of the walls. Okay, because we see Urza running vertically alongside the wall. Ooh, but Annie, since the environment is still commanded by her, uses that to her advantage, and with the swipe of Annie's arm, a giant mouth appears outside of the grotesque wall that Urza was running alongside. Urza can only look on shocked as the mouth lets out a massive blast at point-blank range. Urza comes flying out of the explosion, but notices too late that Annie's already on top of her. Annie delivers a massive sword slash, utterly destroying the Blackwing armor. And as Annie lands on the ground, Urza is sent gasping and bleeding to the ground, falling with a wood. Yes, a wood. We then see Urza seemingly broken and defeated on the ground. Annie dismissively looks back at her, coldly saying no one could beat a Signario. But suddenly, a crack appears on the breastplate of Annie's armor, and suddenly it shattered. Damn! With several cuts appearing all across Annie's body, much to her surprise. Annie finds herself gasping and spitting up blood as the still conscious Urza on the ground smiles and laughs, saying, "We got each other." A very Urza move. Annie is shocked, saying, "In that single instant, you attacked me?" Urza then sits up, questioning, "What is your goal?" Annie doesn't respond, but Urza continues on, saying, "Gold Owl, the guild controlled by the Metal Dragon God. What are you planning?" Annie looks down, saying, "We're going to alchemize history." Urza questions, "History?" And he tells her, "We're going to kill all of the dragons and create a world with a completely unprecedented peace. One where no person need fear dragons." Oh. Uh-oh. I'm sensing a tragic backstory. And he leers at Urza, telling her, "In order to do that, we need to complete Athena. Once she has the power to slay dragons, we'll have her kill them all." Urza gets to her feet, questioning, "I'll accept Vernus, the Metal Dragon God." And he tells her he has no physical body, he is but a concept. We saw the tragedy that befell Ishgal, the days of terror under Acnologia. Okay. Urza says, "But we beat him." And he holds her sword up, saying, "It's not about winning or losing. That those days happened at all was evil. The dragon's existence led to misfortune." Urza, as usual in most situations, sacrifices all of her defense for pure offense. With her clear heart clothing, and I had to look it up, her sword Benzakara. I think I'm saying that correctly. This is usually Urza's go-to when it's just all about the slasher power, baby. But it also means that her movements are at its fastest. Urza goes into her battle stance, saying, "That was a fine speech, but I still won't accept you hurting my friend. No matter how lofty your ideals may be, I can never forgive anyone who hurts my friend. Even in the name of world peace, I'll cut you down." And as Annie and Urza rush towards each other, Annie questions, "You would choose your friends over peace?" And Urza says without the slightest hesitation, "Oh shit." And with a massive flurry of sword slashes, Urza cuts down Annie, shouting, "My friends are what give me peace." Annie cries out from the attack, and the downed Luso calls out to her sister, and as Annie falls, the world created by them begins to fall apart. Annie says, "Our world, alchemy, is coming apart." And as everything falls away from Urza, the distortion of the Signario sisters is undone. Suddenly, Urza is standing in front of Jalal, Gray, and Lucy, with Jalal calling out to her, and Urza to him. She calls out to Gray and Lucy, questioning, "We were able to return to the real world?" Sting and Frosh are there too. Rogue and Frosh are there too, with Rogue saying, What happened?" Frost says, "Everyone suddenly appeared." Gray questions, "Rogue, why are you?" With Lucy saying, "What in the world is going on?" A shadowy figure says, "The Signario sisters' world alchemy was dissolved," shocking the group. As Duke Bora Bora says, "But you're a bit too late." Oh, okay. Bora Bora says, "I already gotten what I wanted," as he holds up the bloody, battered body of Natsu up by the head. Which, again, whiteout magic. Yeah, I'm just like, it was one of the things that I was questioning. I'm like, can't he just remove Natsu's abilities in an instant with his power? And a shocked Lucy cries out for Natsu. It's one of those things that I feel like some people are gonna get pissed because like Natsu was off screen, but it's just like, dude, have you not been reading up until now? Whiteout magic. Every time that whiteout magic is used, it's just like, boom, you're done. Boom, you're done. Boom, you're done. We literally saw it with Athena. The moment Natsu and Sting came round her, she's just like, took your magic. I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, the only other thing Natsu really had was hands. But what gets Natsu through so many fights is usually his magical abilities. I mean, granted, it's possible that Bora Bora beat Natsu in some other way, and let's face it, there are several occasions where Natsu has just gotten his ass kicked and he's needed some outside assistance in order to help power him up. It's pretty typical, honestly. I'm just curious how Bora Bora will beat him. And without a scratch, too. That's why I'm saying whiteout magic. Because it's the easiest way to take these guys down. Just boom, whiteout magic. Took your magic, you're done. It is the cheapest ability that has been introduced recently. It's why so many of these alchemic abilities are so BS, because so many of them just feel like they should instantly take down the heroes. Like, so often throughout the course of the fights with Gold Owl, it's felt like the members of Gold Owl have essentially just F'd themselves time and time again. Ganai and Kotetsu, the moment they summoned Sai, they F'd themselves over. It was literally because of bringing Sai into the fight they lost. God Serena, desperate to, screw over Jalal with his own dark past and memories, was just like, be consumed with the power of darkness. But literally by having Jalal confront his long dormant trauma and all that, and coming to terms with that, it literally made him stronger and find the resolve to beat God Serena's ass. Now you might say that that's typical for shonen, but at the same time, God Serena had a myriad of other abilities, and essentially God Serena gave Jalal the closure he needed to just work through his baggage. Again, for the umpteenth time. Literally gave Jalal the motivation to pull a plus ultra and go beyond. With Urza, it's just like, guys, Eni, Luso, there were two of you. You could have just attacked her together. It was the same thing with Ganai and Kotetsu. The moment they brought Sai in, Ganai and Kotetsu stopped doing anything. Like, they stopped fighting. Like, straight up. I mean, not full on, but they stopped actually being proficient, I want to say. But typical shonen. The thing that always undoes the bad guy is because they're sadistic and don't finish off their opponents quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because most people aren't going to remember the several times God Serena has beat ass. They're just going to remember the one loss because he's dead now. Again, for like the third time essentially. But I will say, at least with Urza's fight, that was a little bit, with each fight it was a little bit more entertaining. Gray and Lucy's fight was, I really don't care for the way that ended. Jalal's fight, a bit better, because I actually like seeing God Serena actually show his stuff. I'm someone who was just like, okay, God Serena showed that he was actually pretty powerful up until that point. And his personality did show that he is boisterous and a blowhard, so him being hoisted by his own petard is kind of understandable. The Signario sisters, it's just like, yeah, there's no real reason y'all lost, except for Luso was a little too into the sadism, and Eni, who actually really stepped up and just stopped effing around, period, just got beat. Like, pure and simple. And you got beat by someone who was like maybe at 75% health, but then again, that's Urza. She always manages her greatest ability, re-equip, insta-win. But Urza's fights are always the best. In this fight, at least to me, it was fun. Urza's fight against Eni, that was a good time. Like, a lot of great choreography here that, again, it's gonna look great anime. Natsu losing to Duke Bora Bora isn't so much a bad thing, as I do like fights where we have to team up to take down the bad guy. if everyone has to come together to take down Duke Bora Bora, I think that'd be a pretty good time. But then again, he can't win too instantly because we got the members of Sabretooth out trying to find the Philosopher's Stone, trying to speedrun Full Metal Alchemist. So they have to get involved again at some point, and we haven't checked it with them in a hot moment. Not to mention, we don't know how the fight between Athena and Athena 2 is going down. I'm still hoping that Athena doesn't get destroyed because she's a pretty fun character. And I'm interested to see where her character could go beyond this story arc, especially since she's supposed to be the Dragon Slayer. And, our whole purpose during this arc was to find her. Like, to have her just be destroyed at the end of all of this, it's like, no! We needed that! So, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye!